Mamu ina akwaba at the bank activity for any no concoction a year and this year catchy. Name say 1 year in some days in the ASS John Dramani Mahama 2 Abama and Sombra number Ghana. Your mampini. Now, if on Kofubin Morgan and her HM, I'm Sister John Dramani Mahama, Bojuma Pa. I telephone them to say, be a Kunya man, no so a bear president doing for a third time. And the business are in the be so, but about Ghana Kunya so for the third time. I bet to say, we perhaps say there could be a fourth time agenda or a fifth time agenda. We perhaps as a Ghana, a Kunya Abbey as in a Jeopardy, and it is that third time agenda, near Trum and Figana Memo. We perhaps say president, you are called for only 2 terms per. I telephone them to now, semi today, Ora Mahama ya regarding the majority in parliament. Leader Abba Bontin the semi to Jazante and Pasania is Assistant John Ramani Mahama Ebon Humodino. And after parliamentarians Nibusa Air Cassintina Yampa, a Sanka Assistant John Ramani Mahama, or call for another third term in office. The table finally a top NDC chairman Bako, NDC General Secretary Ora Fiifi Kwatey, Abba Bontin Abba Seti the record straight Tifonia Sam Kutua Achechemu. I decided to trust in there be. Assistant John Dramani Mahama cannot go for another third term in office at Nasi. A church why it cannot be so. And it's yes, if you never see summer air, Fiifi Kwatey air canal
seeking to ingratiate themselves with those in authority for personal gains. Here's an excerpt of what he had to say.
Vigilance is such that Satan will be afraid to do what is wrong. That is the spirit of Jerry Rawlings. That is the bedrock of the revolution. That's the spirit that actually undergirds the NDC. A spirit that does not believe in sycophancy. A spirit that does not believe in bootlicking. A spirit that places the people and the well-being of the people ahead at all moments. So these days it saddens me when I see so much sycophancy creeping into our party. I see a group of people who obviously, from every indication, they believe that singing the praises of a leader is the only way they can survive. And that's why you hear some of those people even urging statements like there should be a third term. It's just nothing but sycophancy. Pure sycophancy and bootlicking of the highest order. Jerry Rawlings, who was the founder of this party, never at any point was urged by anybody to go for any third term. And you have a bunch of sycophants who today think that all they need to do is to sing praises and hoping that somehow those praises will get them some opportunities that they are looking for. You don't love our country. You don't love our party. If you do, you will know besides sycophants. It's important for us to appreciate that this party was grounded on the need to work for our people. We say cadres may go, cadres may come, but the revolution has come to stay. That simply means it is not about individuals.
Meanwhile, legal practitioner Martin Pebo is urging Ghanaians to stop joking about a possible third term for former president and current president John Dramani Mahama, describing it as a sensitive issue since President Mahama himself has not expressed any interest in running again.
I agree with Fiifi Kwatey, absolutely. That's to say that it's not possible. President Mahama hasn't expressed an interest in running for a third term, because I remember that as far back as about 3-4 months ago, he made that public whilst he was away in Singapore, right? So this, it appears to me that some people are joking about it, but you know, we should be careful. Some jokes are expensive. That the mention of third term actually touches a lot of raw nerves. Yes, the mention of a third term for President Mahama touches a lot of raw nerves. So we should just stay away from it. It's not everything we should joke about. It will derail too many things, and so it will also erode the president's goodwill. So it's not good for us to continue to joke about it. No, because as I said, it touches raw nerves. It will increase a lot of insecurity, etc. There are other jokes we can have. I know Ghanaians like to joke a lot. Yes, we can have many other jokes, but not joking about a third term. There's no space at all for it. There's no space.
to the president of Imani Ghana, Franklin Kujo. Evo Lege.
How are you?
Very well, my brother. Happy New Year, happy 2026. This year, be less on my case and don't fight. Significant is Fiifi Kwatey's public rejection of third-term calls coming from within his own party.
Well, I think it's refreshing. At least it answers those who are on the other side of the political divide, especially your opponents in the NPP, who believe one way or the other that these are just people stoking the fires, and it's likely to be something that people are actually pushing from the highest echelons of power. Fiifi's direct angst and basically saying that nobody's going to do that, even if it's appealing to people within your party, I mean the NDC party, it's good enough. It's just that part of me just feels that, well, look, allow people to express the way they feel, especially if they're experiencing what I call, if you compare day and night, essentially people are experiencing a lot of sunshine after having been held in the dark for a number of if you multiply this by 5 years, that's a lot of days, right? So people then become, people are expressing things they see. I mean, they see the freedom in the single-digit inflation. They see other economic indicators that are actually affecting their lives. You guys were just discussing the petrol thing, right? These are things that people live. And so if people feel that, look, this is a new sense of freedom, and the long may it continue, if they want to express that in other terms, well, let's be a bit jocular and then let's say, to the extent that it does not get to the highest echelons of power, get to parliament for people to start pressing the buttons and say, oh, we are majority, we're going to do this, it really wouldn't fly. And I know President Mahama is not interested at all. I mean, you know better than myself that these are just, I would call them the flights of fancy against the fact that people are experiencing some renewed economic freedom. And for which
but Franklin,
a problem.
Franklin, does this statement that the General Secretary made reflect a deeper concern within the NDC about constitutionalism and internal discipline? Do you think that this speaks to a breakdown and requiring a public rebuke?
No, not at all. It's not reaching to that level at all. At the point I thought he was probably speaking to probably his inner self, but because I don't think it's received this widespread, if you like, welcome, and that some people are like leaders in the party are actually pressing it. If for nothing at all, you probably must have heard young people saying this, and by the way, some of them I've heard are not even NDC people, right? I've seen random people on my wall say all sorts of things, and these are not colored people in terms of political party representation. So Fiifi is, the problem with, a party that virtually is now somehow, and Fiifi is principal to that extent, by the way. So the party is more or less now very separated from the governing. It appears to me Fiifi is not being listened to by certain people, and so it's using these other avenues to fight, which is a good thing to do, and probably found a canon for that. But I'm just saying that the level of angst and the background of which it delivered those comments, it appeared as if he had some prior fight with some other people. Because frankly speaking, I don't think it's really to the level that people should be bothered. And I keep saying, these howls, these expressions of joy, flights of fancy, is against the fact that people are experiencing some real economic freedom.
But frankly, Franklin, would you really call this flights of freedom or fanciful flights of freedom, bearing in mind, like you said, young apolitical Ghanaians who experienced the last 8 years and have seen the remarkable work that's been done in the last 365 days are beginning to question our whole democratic framework and say that, look, if it's working, why change it? If it's not broke, why fix it? If you have a government and a president who seems to be delivering, we look at other countries, we look at Singapore, we look at Malaysia, we look at Rwanda, all the various countries that are mentioned, they didn't run